What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Stereotherapy. I'm your host, Lisa, and my partner in crime, Justine, took the day off today. She wasn't feeling that well, and her health is the priority over here, but she will be back next week. Don't you worry. If you are new here, this is the show that showcases the importance of music and mental health. Our guest today was the band Thru It All from Oklahoma. When I heard this band on TikTok, I knew I wanted them on here. Thru It All is such a unique band that delivers pop punk, hardcore influences, and hip hop as well in their songs. Just truly such a cool band, and I wanted to introduce you to them. We talked about their local scene, how music made an impact in their lives, and their upcoming release, Chaos Zen, that drops in 2 weeks. Remember, if you are liking what you are hearing here, to give our show a follow wherever you are currently listening to this right now. It would really mean a lot to Justine and I, and help support our show and get it in the right ears. And who would enjoy a show like this? All right, here is my conversation with Thru It All. Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
what up? How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking time today, guys. I
Yeah,
so appreciate it. This is so awesome. Um, and again, I kind of just go into it because I'm like, I don't want to waste your time. And it just feels more like we're talking than like, let me stop, let me record this.
perfect.
Um, so we're already rolling, but again, I found you guys, I think it was on TikTok, and I was just like, I love this sound because I'm a big, whether it's hardcore music, in some of the hip hop, like Outkast, which I know is an influence,
Woo!
but it's like in the pop punk, obviously, but you guys just mix it so well together. I gotta have this band on. I need to. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
for
Appreciate
acknowledging
you.
that. Yeah, that everything you just dropped and all those genres. That's like what we try to do is blend that. So thank you for knowing
Uh,
and
Yeah.
so good. And it's different because I feel like pop punk is one of those genres too, that it's like a lot can sound the same. And you guys just sound, it was something different. And I said, all right, this is it. So if I can just send a little more people your way, I mean, we're a new podcast, but it's all good.
yeah,
Um, but if people are listening, just to know like your voices, if you're going to give like a little introduction, who you are, what you do in the band, that way someone can kind of put their ear to it and be like, all right, I know who it is.
sure. Daniel, you want to start?
I'm Daniel. I play guitar and I sing and through it all.
Yeah, and I sing and I produce all of our stuff.
What's your
and
name?
My name's Nick.
Oh, my name's Andrew. I drum in the band.
Awesome. And I guess if you guys were to go up to anybody like on the street and put the headphones on someone and say, you know what, you're going to describe your band in 3 words. What would those 3 words be? And you can all answer if you want to. So
This is what we would like them to say about us. Three words?
you would describe your band like, hey, you know what 3 words would you give them before they put on the headphones?
Difference got to be in there just because of the way we've blended the hip hop stuff into pop punk. And I know we're not the first to do that, but I mean, I think that, we
The
do
way
our
we're doing
own thing with it. So something about being different in there. Hot
Original,
energy. Yep. Lots of energy too. Original.
high energy, good vibes.
That's like 5 words, but we're going to go with 5.
No, absolutely. I love that. Like, different for sure. Because and energy, because even watching you guys, obviously I'm here in Jersey, so I haven't seen you live yet. Um, but even watching videos and like that interaction you guys have and the presence, it's so good to see that. And I think I love to see the crowd interaction too. And it's just, again, it's just so awesome to see an up and coming band like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
East,
Thank you.
Yeah.
East Coast early next year, by the way.
I will take it. Like it's so interesting too, because a lot of people, they think you can only like all the coasts, whether it's LA, New York, you got to be there. But originally I'm from I say Chicago, but 30 minutes from the city I was originally from. And everybody was like, you know what, you got to get out to LA or New York. I'm like, that's not true. I mean, look where you guys are from. Like, I kind of want to get into that a little bit. What is so special? Like, bring us all to that scene in Oklahoma. What's so special about it?
What's special about it, what I would say is we kind of create it. Like
Hmm.
the bands are creating it. If you want something to happen out here, you got to do it yourself. And I think that brings like some of the coolest shows and coolest
Hmm.
DIY kind of, especially in alt rock and pop punk and punk. Like we're doing all that. So if you see a big show that has a bunch of people, it's like from the ground up, built by us or some other bands. It's like it's very DIY and built like by people who really know and care about what that's supposed to be like, you know?
And you would be surprised too, because like being from a small town, Oklahoma, you wouldn't think
Mhm.
pop punk or any of our type of music would
Yeah.
be, recepted well, but people really support us, whether they're, we're their cup of tea or not. They're still going to come out and support us, and that's been unreal. So yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, I love that because I love, like, the house shows. I grew up, like, all my friends going to basement shows. You print out your flyers, and I love to see you guys, like, a while ago, the Blink-182 and Turnstile show. You
Yeah.
guys were, like, handing out flyers and shirts to people. I'm like, This is just it. This is what we need." Like, we need more of that, and, like, even me promoting this podcast, I've made flyers. I put them in, like, books at a bookstore, and I'm like, because the algorithm sucks. So it's great to
Yeah.
have you guys have that DIY ethic and know, like, you have to get out there and do that, and you'll find the right people to get in those scenes and everything. So that's so
Yeah.
awesome to hear. You guys have such a good scene over there.
Yeah,
It's been great. I mean, yeah, but you're right. Being in such a digital age, just going and saying hello to someone is like this foreign thing all of a sudden.
Uh,
It's like so strange.
It
So
is
like
like, yeah.
for me, like all the online stuff is just a tool to get real people to the shows.
Mhm.
Like when we hear people say like at the merch booth, like, oh, we came because we found you on TikTok. It's like that's what it's about. You're here at a show experiencing this like live in person. That's what it's about. The all the social media is just a tool to get there.
Mhm.
I don't care about the views or anything like that. It's just forget all the numbers and all that stuff. Just 10 people come in a city we've never played that like really like sometimes it's people's first show,
right.
you know,
Yeah,
like
Get a
it's
lot of
it's
those,
been
yeah.
amazing. We've had a lot of those just because the way we're marketing, I guess we're reaching people that like, oh, maybe I will go try it out, you know, bring new people into the scene. So
yeah. And we're big on like talking to fans too. We want to get to know everybody that comes through because we really appreciate always the support with everything. So we just really love connecting with our fans, especially in person, like you were saying.
yeah.
Oh, and that's so cool. Like, what a special thing if somebody comes up to you and is like, "This is my first show ever," and like maybe they got in the crowd for the first time, or like whether they crowd surfed or they moshed or whatever. The experience of saying like, "Hey, this was my first show I ever attended." Like that,
It's awesome.
I can't imagine what that feels like.
Sparked something with them for sure. Hopefully
Yeah.
they keep going and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one song for me was KSN. I think that song is literally it takes you on such a journey because you start off with like I feel like it's like a turnstile-esque, like just bang in your face. And then, Nick, you come in, you have the hip hop element, and then you go right back into like the chaos, I guess, of it.
Yeah.
But was that something you kind of when you were writing and you go in your music, you want to create songs like that? Or does that just happen because you're like, you know what, we're through it all. It's who we are. And it just comes off that way.
It happened really naturally.
Yeah,
Right?
I
Yeah.
think when we sat down to do it, the idea was just to write a banger punk song. And just through us experimenting and just trying to do our own thing, that's kind of how it evolved.
Yeah.
And it's perfect because like Chaos Zen is the
Yeah.
sound of the track, you know. So
Yeah.
that was kind of like another. We were like, yeah, we should do this because it matches that title and that energy
Mhm.
perfectly, you know.
Oh,
And
it does. Right away, like I was like, this is just again, it brought me to Turnstile, and I love that band so much. So I was like, oh, this is why I'm gravitating towards this. And it just mixes, it's like it's just perfect. It's that chaotic, but it's in such a good way though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Turnstile is
We love
huge
Turnstile.
for us. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
there's there's a lot of bands we love and stuff, but that's one that just really we've gravitated towards. Like, this is a real band, no gimmicks, no like weird stuff, just good music. And now they're on arena tours, you know?
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane that they were on that Blink tour. And I said, how many people are going to now maybe get into Turnstile and be like, oh, wait, what is this? And go into their catalog. And
and then
that
like hardcore.
Yeah.
right. It's crazy too, because it's like I would never have picked a hardcore band with Blink, but it makes sense because like basement shows and all that, there's all the different genres of people. Like I've seen a pop punk, I've seen a hardcore band in the same lineup, a hip hop band, or just even like a folk band. So it makes sense. But that's also why I was so excited to have you guys on, because I said I love Turnstile, and anyone we've had on, they haven't really liked Turnstile. So I said, all right, like these are my people. I'm all for it. So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Turnstile blends a lot of stuff too. I mean, not as like drastic and obvious as we do, but they definitely have a lot of influence from like I think I've heard them say like the go-go music and all that stuff. That's why they have the cowbells and the percussion and
Hmm.
like 70s funk, they have like some songs that are inspired by that and stuff. So
Yeah, and I know, Nick, you spent some time in LA, um, a few years back. What did you bring from LA in that scene to kind of bring back and with this project? What did you learn from out there that helped you in your music scene right now?
a lot. So yeah, just kind of like going through the ringer of LA for a long time and
Mhm,
surviving out there and learning the industry and just kind of like yeah, just puzzle pieces that all kind of added up into knowing what I know now to apply to this band, has gone a long way. It's not like starting like when we started this band, it was like starting a band with like all this knowledge of like how to do things right rather than just like, I don't know, let's see what happens. It was like, no, we're gonna just dive right in and know exactly what to do. And like 2 years into the band, we've like built this crazy following already. So I'm,
mhm.
excited to see what we can do in like 5 years or something.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes back to like the coast thing, right? Because everybody says LA, New York, but I mean, even being out here on the East Coast, I'm like, it's tough out here. Like I'm like, I miss that Midwest. Like there's a lot of great things out here on the East Coast, but I mean, it's tough because everybody has their own thing. When I moved out here, it's like, oh, how do I fit in? Like I don't know. I gotta find my people out here still. But
Right.
um that's awesome that you were able to learn and bring back because I mean I've spent some time out in LA in years past with some friends. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I can live out here and do
Yeah.
this, but oh, that's so great. And like to see where you guys are at now. I mean, you guys have quite the following. So it's definitely coming all together.
Making it happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what you got to do. And you guys are out there getting it. And that's what's important. And having those influences of, like we said, like Outkast and Blink, what are some of those bands and how have they made that impact in your lives? Like, what was the importance in your lives? And you guys can each, again, go ahead and answer too.
We grew up on the dopest music. And
Mm-hmm.
naturally, I think it just kind of channels into what we're trying to do now. Nick and I have known each other since we were like 5 or some shit. So, I mean, we grew up on a lot of the same music.
And the thing is too, it's not even just like the music too that we're attracted to. Obviously, like the music plays the biggest part, but also like how the bands present themselves and how they, a lot of them stay true to themselves. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really like he was saying the gimmicky stuff or anything like that. We like musicians that are true at the core and how they do things because that inspires us a lot more. You got to remember being in a band isn't just making the music. Unfortunately, we all have to wear many hats and treat this like a business if you want to take it to that next step. And so it's cool to see how they're still doing it, but remaining that humanity in there rather than being like a corporate band or LA. That's why I was going to say to add on to his thing with him being in LA for so long, coming here, it's
Mm-hmm.
helped us know what direction to go through all the BS because he has so much experience in so many different sectors in the music industry and going through that. And, Daniel and I, all of us have been on tours and been in bands and done things, but he was out there in LA, like you said, living there where you think you can make it. And,
Mm-hmm.
he's been and experienced that. So it's helped us a lot. We've got a lot of direction, which is
Just
nice.
seeing how things operate and
Right. Yeah.
playing like venues out there. Like if you can sell out a show in LA amongst everybody,
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's kind of one of the harder things to do.
Yeah.
So I went and did that. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, let me just keep it going. But with my hometown boys and like it all worked out perfectly, really.
Yeah.
Just all feels very in the flow. I didn't plan on moving back and just with the pandemic and everything, I ended up back and it was like, yeah, this makes so much sense. Like this is all just meant to happen. So
Yeah.
that's how it feels. It feels very like meant to happen.
Oh, that's so awesome to hear because music is just, I mean, it's so important to me and I can tell it's so important to you guys. And that's just so great. And again, I can't wait to see what's next for you guys. I mean, I know again, we'll talk about your album a little bit that's on the way, but I mean, that just is again, it's just so refreshing to see a band like you guys. So I appreciate that as a music listener that there's something new out there because I like a lot of music, but again, like sometimes you're like, oh, you know what? It's the same stuff. Give me something new. So again, I'm hoping somebody hears this and they're like, I kind of like that. Maybe I'll check them out. So that's the hope for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, but part of our podcast too is talking about the importance of mental health, and music and those kind of go hand in hand a lot. I know for me, and I know for a lot of other people. How has music made that impact in your mental health? Whether it's gotten you out of a hard time, it's been there for you during a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything to us. I mean, me personally, I've got music tattooed all over my arm and
Yep.
everything.
Like Circus Survive tattoo. Yep.
So, I mean, we've got all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, it's everything. It's been everything my whole life as well as them. So I can't even express enough
I mean, yeah, for
anytime.
you from work to the band to
Right.
he teaches drums, like percussion
Yeah.
at a college, like in our off time and stuff. So
Yeah, we're just trying to spread the love of music.
is everything. Really,
Yeah.
for me, it's like only thing that ever made sense as far as like what to grasp onto and direction in life. And it was just like it just made sense from such a young age, 11, 12 years old. I was like, yep, I already know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
It's just always been kind of like if no one listened or nothing was happening, I'd probably still be just making stuff or playing drums or doing something,
This is all we've ever wanted. So
yeah, it's all happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like there's so much on the horizon. You have your full length coming out. Gosh, it'll be 2 weeks now, but Black Friday it comes out. What are you most proud of that record that's about to come out in 2 weeks?
We put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the songs are out, but we're
Mhm.
kind of hoping that it's like almost like, oh, even our biggest fans, like, oh, I didn't, because we dropped so much music this year.
Yeah.
There's unreleased songs on the album, but like it's a lot of what we did this year. And we're kind of like giving it that one big push again, like, yo, here's our album. Listen to all the songs, like really listen to it because it's like a
Mhm.
collective body of work. But most proud, I don't know. Most proud of just what are you most proud of, bro?
I think it's just our way of capping off this year, because in the second year of our band, like we've done so much.
Yeah, I'm most proud of how the sound, like you've mentioned a couple times, really
Mhm.
evolved into like what Through It All really is. Like everything we dropped before, the EPs and stuff, they're great, but this album is like, okay, this is Through It All. There's like some rap verses, there's this production wise, like the sound is there, and I think now we can just elaborate on that for the rest of our career.
And what people don't realize too is like we didn't make all these songs last year and then spread them out with releases this year with all the singles. A lot of these songs were written as we went. We spent 3 nights in a cabin together to write 2 songs, and have done other things like that. So it's kind of cool. Like to me, whenever I think of the album, certain songs, it's like certain parts of my life, like that month or two when we were writing it and recording it or releasing it. And so it's pretty cool that we made a plan and we stuck with it and kept it consistent. And in my opinion, it was really successful this year. So it was cool. It's cool to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome to probably look back as you guys listening to it to pinpoint back, oh, this is when we did this is when we did that. And someone else that's going to be listening to that will totally have a different thing. Maybe like they'll create their new memories. So I think that's so awesome. And I mean, you guys are that independent band, obviously. Besides, the obvious, what do you think is the biggest struggle of being the independent band?
Trying to fit all the gear into a Prius.
Oh, wow.
Transportation, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't imagine that. Like I'm trying to think of my friends that have like bands and stuff. And I mean, that's an expense there too. But wow.
So no, for real though, we were about to buy a new van. Like we were like, it was on our to-do list for this year. And we're like, let's just buy a van. And then we kept doing all these runs of shows, and we're like, dude, we just spent like $20 in gas, and we played 3 freaking shows
Across 3 states,
and made
Wow.
like we're making money. Like we're out here making money. Even the smallest shows, bar shows, like we're making money. We're printing our merch ourselves.
Which again, I commend you for that. I watched that. I'm like, that's so cool.
Our profits are like, even at a small show, like way high because of just how we've done everything. So I think the struggle would be juggling all of that, being independent and being like, dude, we're not just showing up playing a show. Like 24 hours a day, there's planning, there's orders to be sent out, there's merch to print, there's it's just constant.
Yeah.
So that's the struggle, I guess, but it's like really, I mean, kind of need that in life. You need purpose,
Mhm.
direction. So, you know, I think a lot of bands that just play and then like party too much after, don't know what to do with themselves, like it gets old because you're just like washed up. But if you're like the one doing everything, you're kind of like planning everything, then being independent is a good way to go with that.
And obviously, if you can't like sustain making a living while on the road, don't get me wrong, it's never about money. So if we ever talk about money, it's never about that. But obviously, it's important, as you know, in today's economy, you can't travel across the country with no money for gas, and you know how expensive that is. So it's
Yeah.
nice being able to kind of figure that out and balance that, because that's also the toughest part, in my opinion. Why do most bands break up? Why do most bands not tour or be in a band? It's always and only about money normally. That's where it stems from normally. So because everybody had a limited amount of money to do it, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about anything, but you know, we're able to figure it out. So it's nice.
It's been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to support bands. I always tell people, you know, like if you can, of course, if you have the means, right? Or you get that ticket. Me, I know I picked up a shirt from you guys. I had to get the mosh with care. I said,
Yes.
this is the coolest shirt. I said, I have to. And like, I try to support any band that comes on here. Um, because too, it's just in my blood, like all my friends' bands and promoting shows. But I'm looking forward to getting that shirt because I said, this is just so cool. I got to have it.
It's awesome. Thank you, by the
Yes.
way, for getting that.
Oh my God, absolutely. I know it's on the way. So I'm like, but again, like how the quick turnaround and just everything. And again, seeing you guys with that DIY ethic. What were some of those bands you really looked up to when you guys got started?
I think just punk rock in general is very DIY, like, you know, real punk stuff. Like
Mhm.
even the punk, I went to the punk rock museum in Las Vegas
Oh,
a couple months ago, and like some of those bands merch, it's like a spray paint stencil on like a white tee, you know, like, and that's just how they made it work. Or like the Pennywise Jam Room is just like pieced together gear, and like, you know, they're just whatever you can do to make it work is very DIY. Booking shows in backyards and not even in venues, you know, just like how, you know, how punk kind of started, you know.
Yeah.
Art galleries in New York back in the day with like
mhm.
rappers and hip hop. That's another thing that can tie in too, like New York back in the day and stuff. Yeah, just anything like DIY punk is kind of what inspired that DIY attitude, at least for me.
Oh no, I want to get to the punk rock museum. I haven't yet. I'm like, that's the bucket list. I said, I got to see that. I got to see what's going on over there. I haven't gotten over there. So that's so cool that you've been able to see it and visit it and probably get inspired a little bit too. Like, hey, you know, like look at where these bands are at. You know, for all we know, Through It All be in there. You know, you never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was grinning like a cheesing like a little kid the whole time. I was having so
Oh,
much fun in the punk museum.
what was your favorite part of it?
I got a tattoo. I went to the
Oh,
bar downstairs. I
wow.
like I sat on like a couch that Kurt Cobain sat on, like with the picture in the background of him doing the exact same pose.
Wow.
Uh yeah, all the Blink 182 stuff. I played Fat Mike's bass from NoFX, like
Wow.
crazy stuff. I played Tim Armstrong's first Rancid guitar, which is like upside down and left-handed, like big hollow body guitar that's all spray painted pink. Like it's crazy, really crazy.
Wow. No,
I mean,
I'm so jealous of that. Like just hearing that and like having that experience, I said I gotta make that trip. That's gotta
oh,
happen.
it's so worth it. And if you, I don't know if you have tattoos, but if you
Mm.
get a tattoo, I wish I would have known this. If
Yeah.
you get a tattoo there, you don't have to pay admission.
Oh, really?
I paid admission and then got a tattoo.
Yeah,
But
right. Yeah.
say I'm gonna get a tattoo while I'm here, then the whole thing's just covered.
Wow.
So
That's so cool. That's so cool to
remember that
know.
when
Like,
you,
oh, for sure. I'm like, I'll plan something out and be like, all right, I'll just make it happen for like the whole experience and that.
yeah.
Uh, so obviously with this year wrapping up a little bit, I know it's weird to think about next year, but we're here. And with your record coming out, what is something or a goal of yours for the new year? Like, is there some touring plans? I mean, anything you can talk about, of course. I know maybe you don't want to give it away, but any big plans for the new year?
New Year, yeah. Um,
We'll even come out probably with another new EP. We never stop writing,
yeah.
so that'll probably be in the books. Touring a lot. I think we want to, try and support this record as much
There's
as
a tour
possible.
being booked right now.
Yeah.
For March.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on out. Come on out. Jersey's awesome. Jersey has so many cool little venues and it would be so cool.
As far as I know, we're going all the way east to Florida and up to New York City. So the whole
Okay.
We're pretty much covering a lot of ground in March.
We may end up in Europe. You never know.
Europe is the goal next year.
Never know.
Euro tour.
Yeah, my wife is from Germany, so we're gonna go do that and play
Yeah.
some shows over there and
Wow.
That'll be
That's-
make
awesome.
that.
That's so cool. That would be so cool. Like I can't imagine like touring Europe. Like would that be, would you say like a bucket list for you guys?
For me, yeah.
It was a bucket list for me to just go there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
bet.
Oh,
This I'm going for my 4th time this year or something, 3rd time this year in next week or whenever,
yeah.
couple weeks.
oh,
So
wow. And I mean, thinking of bucket list too, like if you guys in the new year too, if there was like a bucket list band or artist you guys wanted to either open up for, just play alongside, whatever it is, who would those artists be for you guys?
Blink
Yeah. Oh,
82.
yeah. Oh, for sure.
Silk Sonic would be pretty dope
If we could,
with Bruno Mars and
yeah.
Anderson .Paak.
That'd be pretty sick.
I just thought of that.
honestly.
Ooh,
yeah, if we could secure that, that'd be crazy. Yeah, Turnstile story so far. It's funny because that tour just happened, those 3 bands, but we were like,
right.
those would be the bands probably, like, and of course they're all together. And there's this other guy we really liked. We were covering one of his songs. His name's Tizo Touchdown. I don't know if you've heard of Tizo.
No.
So Tizo is like huge now. He's selling arenas and stuff. But like we started listening to him, and it's nothing like Turnstile, right?
Mhm.
But we're like, we love this. This is it. Like this is that vibe, right? And then of course, who's Tizo on tour with? Turnstile. And it's like nothing like it at all. So we were like, there's something to be said about just the taste of certain fans or certain listeners.
Yes.
They know like what they like and what's dope, because like there's other people like us out there, and we called it on that tour. We called the bands. So
Oh, I need to, I'm keeping that on there because I've never heard of that. I'm like, I need to like look into that. Anytime I hear anything new music wise, I'm like, I need to jot it down and like have it and check it out. So that's so cool. Like I'm surprised I haven't heard of that. Like I've never heard of Tizo.
he's a solo artist, but lyrically, like some of the best stuff I've heard in a long time.
Yeah.
And like artistic direction, his like image, you'll see, it's crazy.
Oh,
It's pretty cool.
I'm excited to check it out because anytime anyone spits anything like new, I'm like, you know what? I haven't heard of it, and I'm sure I'll like it. And I'm surprised I haven't because I follow Turnstile, and that's another reason I love that band too, is because they seem to bring out different types of music too. So like even if you're not into it, it's like, hey, they're playing with this band. There has to be something there. So check them out.
Yeah.
But for you guys too, is there anyone that should be on other people's radar too? Like in your scene, like who else around you guys that you guys are playing with that maybe someone else can check out too?
If you ever see Van Full of Nuns doing a pop punk night in your town, go see them live because it's such a cool show. No matter who else is on the bill, like they throw an amazing, not even just a show. I mean, they throw like
A
party. I mean, they do decorate, they do the whole thing. I mean, it's a cool experience, especially if you like nostalgic, old school pop punk and old emo stuff.
If you want to go sing all the old hits and stuff, like that's the dopest.
And they sound so good when they do it live too. It's cool.
Around us. House Parties from Texas is killing it right now.
I love that. I'm trying to get them on here. I love them so much. They're so great.
Yeah, they're cool. Who else is really killing it?
I mean, you got Cliff Diver and Tulsa.
Cliff Diver.
Cliff Diver's
Tulsa,
always doing.
yeah.
Shout out Joey. We love Joey Duffy.
There's a bunch. I don't want to leave anyone out.
I know, right?
It's hard to spot.
Yeah.
No, I do agree. I love Cliff Diver and House Parties. I know they're doing their thing. I love to see it too. And I guess, is there anything you guys want to plug at all or anything other than your record? Like, I guess, anything you can think of that we didn't cover, like that I'm forgetting?
Yes. We just finished a new music video today. Before this interview, we were sitting in the editing room. Actually, you want to make a cameo, bro? Yeah, dude.
No cameo.
Our director, editor, Patrick, our buddy from here in town, is here, and we just wrapped it up. He was like, "I'll come down to we're in our practice spot right now. So I'll come down and do." But yeah, new single music video. That's this last single on the album. There's some other unreleased stuff on there too, but this one will be like the big single and video called Holy Water. So look out for that.
It'll be awesome.
Well, awesome. Definitely looking forward to that. But again, like, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Just so excited for this record. I guess if anyone wants to find you guys, I know I'll have all the links below and everything in this podcast. But if they want to hear it, where can they check you out? Where can they find you guys? I know you're on TikTok, Instagram, all that.
Yeah, Through It All okay on Instagram. Throughitallband.com has all of our links. So yeah, throughitallband.com and Spotify, Apple, just type Through It All, THRU, Through
Yeah.
It All.
Perfect. But again, thank you guys so much. I'm looking forward to it. And this has been great. And I'm so excited to see what's going to go on for you guys in the new year and with this record coming out.
Well, thanks for having us. We
Yeah,
really
thanks.
appreciate you.
Awesome interview. You knew what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Smooth.
much. I was so excited like to have you guys on. I was as soon as like I know we were emailing back and forth, Nick, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait for this. So again, thanks so much. And I know we'll talk soon and I can't wait to get that record.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys. And hopefully I'll see you on the East Coast. I'll see you out here.
Yes,
All
next year,
right.
hopefully. Yes.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
All right. All right, guys. And that was my conversation with Through It All. Again, truly enjoyed this conversation with these guys and getting to know them and their band. And it was a lot of fun having them on. I'm really excited for you guys to be introduced to Through It All if you don't know them already, because they should definitely be on your radar. As always, I'll have all my links in the description below. Give them a follow, give them a check out. Again, their record comes out in 2 weeks, and I think it's definitely one you want to check out. So definitely give that a go. As always, you will hear us next Tuesday, bright and early. All right. Bye, guys.